Have you ever wondered why our calendar looks like the handiwork of two drunk astronomers who failed a history class? It wanders all over the place. Some of it is Roman, some of it Egyptian, some of it Arabic, and some of it Norse or Anglo-Saxon. Why are the months all wonky, with a random majority inexplicably longer than others? Why is the second month shorter than all the rest? And why is it named for the bloody strips of goat hide once used to thrash infertile women? For that matter, why do we have months named September, October, November, and December, meaning months 7, 8, 9, and 10, if they're actually months 9, 10, 11, and 12? If Sunday is part of the weekend, why is it at the beginning of the following week? And who's the friggin' frig behind the name Friday? Yes, far more worrisome than all the stuff we have to write on our calendars is the calendar itself. No matter how hard we try to dress it up with cute animals, silly cartoons, and lavish landscapes, every calendar devilishly hides a really messed up history. Calendars have been around since the dawn of human consciousness. It didn't take a genius to notice that nature turns the lights on and off on a very regular schedule. The sky was the world's first big screen TV, with the sun, moon, and various stars on every channel everywhere. But not everyone used the same TV guide, so to speak. Some, such as the Greeks, followed a timetable set by the moon. Others, such as the Egyptians, preferred the sun, and a few tried both, including the Romans. And why? Because our sky channels are not synchronized by nature. The Earth does not rotate an exact number of times for each revolution around the sun, and the Earth does not rotate an exact number of times for each revolution of the moon around the Earth. So our celestial TV guides, called calendars, vary depending on our viewing preferences, lunar, solar, or both. The very first ones took the form of moon phases, scratched into antlers and bones, or painted on cave walls. Some were pits laid out on the ground, or even massive edifices made out of stone. The creation story in the Hebrew Bible famously begins with a calendar. The book of Genesis tells us that on day one, God invented day one. It reads, "And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day." So the Hebrews clearly started each day at sunset, but the Egyptians at sunrise, and the Romans at midnight. Different cultures and religions are still divided on when a day or month or year should begin and end. But let's focus on one of humanity's many calendars, the one the Western world inherited from the ancient Romans. Our modern calendar started out like this, back in the years BCE, when the Roman calendar had 10 months, not 12, no sequentially numbered days, 6 numbered months, and enough letters to fill a Scrabble board. Let me show you around, and this quick tour will help you understand and appreciate the much simpler version that we use today. It's called a calendar because the Romans named the first day of each lunar month the calends. The year began on the calends of March, our March the 1st, hence the letter K at the start of each month. March, April, May, June, all named for deities, and the rest named simply months 5 through 10. The column of repeating letters A through H down the left side denote market days. If your town hosted public markets on days marked, let's say, D, then yours was on March the 1st, the calends, and repeated again 8 days later in a regular rotation. That's the closest the early Romans came to our week, but they had no weekends. Days off came with frequent holy days and festivals sprinkled throughout the year. For example, the Tubilustrium in March, the month named in honor of the war god Mars. On that day, the sacred war trumpets, Roman tubas, were purified to get the army ready for the new campaigning season for war. You see the ceremony repeated 2 months later in May, just to be sure. The Romans were very superstitious. Early in May, they observed 3 non-consecutive evenings of the Lemuria, a late-night ritual to rid homes of dangerous ghosts by spitting black beans at them. It was similar to, but less fun than, our Halloween. The Lemuria was serious business, so marriages were forbidden on those days, lest evil spirits doom the wedding. The Roman calendar was heavy with holidays associated with war, death, family, fertility, and of course, agriculture. Saturn, the god of sowing crops, was honored at the end of the year with a 7-day blowout called the Saturnalia. After a relative dearth of recent days off, Romans were ready for some first-rate fun and feasting. The normal social rules were suspended. Slaves switched places with their masters. People dressed in costumes partied, gambled, and exchanged gifts. It was like an original Christmas, but on steroids. Roman holidays provided meat for public feasting, sometimes the only such protein available to the poor. Today we might mark a particular holiday with a communal meal of turkey, ham, or hot dogs. But the Roman calendar was a year-long death sentence for savory sacrificial beasts, such as sheep, goats, pigs, and cattle. A rust-colored dog was sacrificed at the Robigalia festival in April, and in mid-October a champion racehorse was speared after its victory. Its head and tail were cut off and fought over by rival neighborhoods as a holiday trophy. In addition to the column of market days, notice that every day of the Roman year has a letter F, N, C, or the ligature NP assigned to it. This reminded everyone of each day's inherent religious character, whether it was in essence a good day or not. F stood for Fas, F-A-S, meaning lucky or religiously favorable. A good day to start a new venture, perhaps, or convene a court. N meant Nephos, the opposite of Fas, so court proceedings were forbidden because bad things could happen on those days. Superstitious Romans would not want to marry on such a day or set off on a potentially hazardous journey. It was like having a year strewn with Friday the 13th. C marked special days so propitious that major public business could only be conducted on those days, specifically meetings of the governing committees. You can see that Romans did a lot of public business at the ends of months and near the end of the year. NP signified days, often festival days, during which citizens and slaves must avoid work and steer clear of any and all arguments to dodge starting trouble. It was like surrendering your weapons at the gate when attending a public celebration on our New Year's Eve. So how did a Roman know what day it was without numbering them? If you had a birthday on, let's say, the 16th of October, how would you invite your friends to the party? You could not say October the 16th because no such day existed, least of all one with an Arabic numeral. Guests would need to come on ante diem XVI calendas Novembris, that is, 17 days before the calends of November, counting inclusively. That's right, your birth month October is not even mentioned in the date, and here's why. There's your birthday in October. Good for you, it's a lucky FAS or FOS day. Now, instead of counting the days of the month, the Romans counted backwards from 3 fixed days, the calends, the nones, and the ides, as in the famous phrase, beware the ides of March. We've met the calends, the first day of each month. The ides fell in about the middle of a month, and the nones, meaning nines, were 9 days before the ides, counting inclusively. Every day was so many days before the next one of those dates. So October the 2nd would be known as 6 days before the nones of October. Yes, I know we would say that's 5 days before the nones, but for some reason the Romans included the start and finish when counting. October the 3rd would be 5 days before the nones, and so on. When you have passed the nones, you begin counting back from the ides, and after that you count backwards from the calends of the next month. That's why your October the 16th birthday is the Romans 17 days before the calends of the next month, November. You can be glad to have this rather than this on your bulletin board. But wait, where did January and February come from? At first, the Romans added these 2 months to the end of the year to help align their lunar calendar with the sun. Running out of days, poor little February got short-changed. It was also the unluckiest month, crammed with Nephos days. It was named for the februa, bloody strips of goat hide used to lash infertile women during the Lupercalia festival. In the 2nd century BCE, these two added months were shifted to the start of the year so that elected generals could take office on the calends of January and get to where the fighting was by the beginning of the war season in March. They did not bother to rename the months 7, 8, 9, and 10 to months 9, 10, 11, and 12. Months 5 and 6, however, eventually were renamed July and August in honor of Julius Caesar and the Emperor Augustus. So there you have it. Ours is a simpler version of the Roman calendar, now with Arabic numerals and weekdays, with mostly Anglo-Saxon and Norse names like Wodensday, Thorsday, and Frigsday to replace the Roman market days. Our modern world is governed by a collection of ancient cultural and religious relics that still hang out on our refrigerators, desks, and phones, reminding us that we are creatures from another world, products of another time and place. I'm Dr. Frank L. Holt, thanking you for watching and hoping that you will like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. It's not just my ancient world after all, it's yours too. So I'll see you here next time.